Welcome to the Elite Property Academy, Elite Investment Property Agent Certification Program, Module 1.2, the Industry and Opportunity. Hello, welcome back. Greg Morris again here, and in this module, you're going to learn and understand the key statistics about typical Australians' financial well-being and their retirement income options. We're also going to cover the key statistics of the real estate and construction industry. Now, the reason why this information is so important is because when it comes to Australians' financial well-being and retirement incomes, most Australians have absolutely no idea how much they need come retirement to give them the lifestyle that they want and deserve. And most people realise that what they do today is going to impact them immensely come time that they actually do retire. Now, when some of these key statistics are shown to your clients, it really prompts them and urges them to take action today. In this business, when we're talking about long-term investment, time is your friend, and the quicker we can start our clients on the journey, the far greater impact it will have and the far better off they will be once they do finally come to retire. Now, how big is this opportunity we're actually talking about? Well, big problems create big opportunities, and what we're talking about is Australia's financial well-being for nearly every single Australian. And unfortunately for most, things aren't looking too positive. The Australian Bureau of Statistics over the last 30 years has been tracking consistently financial well-being of Australians by the time they come to retirement age of 67. The ABS tells us out of 100 people, by the time they reach 67, only 1% will actually be wealthy. 3% will be required to continue working to support themselves in retirement. Only 5% will be independently financially viable, which means they're not reliant on anyone or anything else to give them an income. 29% will be dead, ideally not the situation any of us want to be in, and 62% will still be broke and reliant on government pensions and subsidies to survive. Now, the ABS goes on to tell us that they consider $800 a week in income is what they consider to be wealthy. Now, I'm not sure on your definition of wealth, but when the average Australian income today is just over $1,100, I think it'd be fair to say that most people would not consider $800 a week to be wealthy. In fact, 79.6% of our 2 million plus retirees are forced to survive on only $413.10 a week or less, which is the current age government pension. And it's even less for a couple. Let's just talk about the government pension for a moment. When it was first introduced in Australia in 1909, there were 15 workers to one retiree. In 2018, there were 5 workers to one retiree. And by the time we get to 2030, there will only be 3 workers left to one retiree. So obviously, this is simply not sustainable. Yet unfortunately, this is most Australians' only backup plan. This is why in 1992, under the Labor government, they introduced the Superannuation Guarantee Administration Act. And while this has helped a lot for many Australians, for most it's been too little too late. The ABS tells us, as of 2016, the average super balance at retirement for men was $310,145, and for women, $196,409. Now, with an annualized return of 5%, these balances would only provide a weekly income of $298 and $188 a week, respectively, which is even less than the government pension. The ABS also goes on to tell us that 45% of all women over 65 have no superannuation at all. MLC conducted a research report in early 2019 this year, which said 60% of people felt worried and anxious about not having enough money to retire comfortably. So is it a big opportunity, and is there a big need for the services we provide in this country? Absolutely. So when it comes to investment then, what is the answer? Well, all investments ultimately derive from 3 things: cash, shares, or property. Now, all can be good. However, let's break down and look at the reasons why many people choose property as the foundation to their wealth. First of all, cash. If you had $500,000 sitting in the bank 20 years ago that was still in there today, you'd be getting a lot less for your money due to inflation and the cost of things going up. In 1999, the Big Mac cost you $2.65. In 2019, the cost of a Big Mac today is $6.45, which means you get approximately 60% less for your money than what you did 20 years ago. So the cost of living goes up. If it's only left in cash, we're actually going backwards. Now, shares can be great because they do give you income and growth, but you need to pick it right. You can also borrow against shares at a rate of 50% LVR, loan to ratio value, which means you can leverage and get growth on borrowed money. But there has to be a level of sophistication here with you continually watching and managing your shares, or else entrust someone else to do it for you. Now, it can be hit and miss. Telstra, an example, in 1999 shares were worth $7.40. Today, Telstra is worth $3.71. They've nearly halved in value over the last 20 years. Conversely, CBA in 1999 was worth $25.12, yet today in 2019 it's just topped $79.72. So it's obviously gone up in value. But the trick is picking it right. We need a diversification overall to make sure we got the best possible chance to get things right. And these are all reasons why many Australians love the idea of property, for the stability and long-term growth. A $500,000 property back in 1999 would be worth considerably more today. In fact, the median price in Australia in 1999 was only $131,500. Today, the median property in Australia is worth $682,600. Now that's gone up nearly 500% in value over that time. The other good thing about this is when we borrow money, we only need a small deposit. Because of the banks feeling secure with property, they'll lend 90 to 95% of the value of that property, which means at a 10% deposit, we only need $50,000 of our own money to borrow and buy a $500,000 to $100,000 property and be able to control that property while it goes up over time. Now, over 20 years, we'd also pay down that loan, which means the loan decreases, the property increases in value, and the gap there between the two is what creates our long-term wealth. Given the fact that you're already here looking at a property investment course, I'm sure there's a fair chance that you're a big believer in property as a great investment for our long-term wealth creation. But unfortunately, when it comes to property investment, things aren't looking that rosy either for most Australians. The ABS tells us that over 99.1% of people fail when it comes to achieving the results they were hoping for when it comes to property investment. Today in Australia, we have 1.88 million people that own investment property. Now, out of 26 million, that's a pretty good rate of people that actually are wealthy enough to invest into property. But how many people do you think ever achieve the milestone of 5 properties or more? Well, the number is quite staggering. It's only 16,600 or 0.9%. So that's less than 1% of those 1.88 million people that own investment property ever achieve 5 properties or more. Now, when I learnt this stat, I was shocked. How could this be the case when everyone sets out with the best intentions and the goal to continually invest and build their property portfolio successfully over time to eventually retire rich and early? Where does it all go so wrong? Well, over the course of this program, we're going to really break down the core fundamentals, reasons why, and the mistakes most people make. And when I share with you these big mistakes, you'll be shocked at how simple and easy they are to avoid and how we can help our clients do the same for the best possible chance for success. Now, when it comes to the investment market, we're playing in the biggest investment market of all. The residential property market is now a $5.5 trillion investment market. Now, it's bigger than superannuation, the stock market, and the commercial property market combined. When it comes to that residential investment market, we tend to stick to investment and new properties for a myriad of reasons. First and foremost, you can only ever live in one property, but you can invest in many, which means we can develop an ongoing client base that will continue to invest with us again and again, irrespective of whether they want to move house or not. Yet most real estate agents today still focused on the established home market. Buying decisions are based more on logic than emotion, and depending on the strategy, new properties tend to perform better for investment. No repairs, builder's warranties, better tax savings, depreciation, they tend to rent quicker with better returns. And most importantly, as an agent, we don't have to waste any time competing for a single listing with every other real estate agent in town. We work with some of Australia's best builders and developers who all pay exceptional commissions to those who can do this successfully. And this all means you literally have an uncapped earning potential when it comes to investment property sales and new projects. Over the past 12 months, there has been 214,875 new properties built, developed, and sold in Australia. 1 in every 2 properties in Australia today is a new property that's sold in the market. Yet again, most agents continually to focus on the established market. This generated $97.12 billion in new sales across the country, which equated to $4.5 billion in commissions paid out to agents who work in our business. So is this opportunity big? Yes, it's big. It's very, very big. And I can't wait to help you get into this so you can get your piece of that $5 billion commission pie. So your to-do list for this module. I want you to remember the key statistics about Australia's retirement income, age pension statistics, and the property investment failure rate. These are all key statistics that the average Australian has no idea about, but need to be educated and informed so they don't fall into the same category. So that's it for Module 1.2. I look forward to seeing you next in Module 1.3.